Hello, I'm Roger Bisbee from the Skill Builder channel, and it's raining again. And a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, I can't do anything, can't go outside, can't get in the garden, can't do a thing. But you know, all the time that you're doing that, this rain could be doing damage to your property. People just neglect simple things that they don't even know about a lot of the time. This adds up to big repair bills. At some time in the future, you find that a leaking gutter or a blocked drain or gully or something like that has caused untold problems, and maybe dry rot, maybe taking out the pointing, but whatever it is, it's not good. So if you don't keep water under control, you're going to have to pay the price at some time in the future. So what can we do? Let's go and have a look at a typical building which has been, to my mind, neglected over the years. A great shame, really. This is Reigate Priory, which is roughly 500 years old. The priory was originally founded in the early 13th century and later converted to a mansion in Tudor times, following the dissolution of the monasteries by Henry VIII. In June 1541, Henry VIII granted the manor and the priory of Reigate to Lord William Howard, uncle of Catherine Howard, Henry VIII's wife. Nice, isn't it? Nepotism. It's got quite a number of wall ties in it, because obviously they're having trouble with the masonry, but those wall ties are actually holding the thing together, doing a good job. And there's a fantastic staircase inside here. It's just a joy. It's a kind of a very early IKEA, if you like. It was a kit form staircase, but I can't take you in to show you that at the moment. That's not what I'm talking about anyway. I'm talking about the consequences of neglecting to look after those simple things like gutters and drains. So as we come round here, you can see straight away, if I move my umbrella, you've got water running down the face of this building, and that is the parapets up the top, which to my mind are a design fault. If they don't put a bigger overhang on those parapets, then they are asking for trouble. And if you look here, up in the soffit, you can see that they've got quite a nice overhanging soffit here. And then you can see down below all the render cracking away, and why they've put all those ties on to hold it in place and stop it falling off while they figure out what to do. But unfortunately, they're not looking after this lovely old property. Even though it's a listed building, you can see all kinds of problems with the blocked drains. That's a very small one. It's typical, isn't it? It's been pouring with rain all day long, and I thought I would come out here and do some filming, and then it stopped raining. But you can see just generally around here, there's quite a lot of money that needs to be spent on this building to get it up to scratch. But here, let's have a look at this. Fairly common around here, and I know because I've been looking at this for months on end in the pouring rain, just looking at the amount of damage which is being done to it. So you don't have to be a detective to spot these things. I mean, they really are quite simple. Here we've got a leaking hopper head, the rainwater hopper at the top, and that overflows, bit of lead going into it, probably a bit of blockage there, and you can see the amount of green on the brickwork there. This is being used as a school at the moment, this building, and a very good school it is too, but it's just a shame that nobody's looking after this. Not only is it attacking the pointing, but it'll be going through, and there'll be timbers down there at low level, and they'll be saturated, and you can see this gully. Look at this, look at the water that's in there, and that's not draining away at all. What's happening is it's going over the edge of that gully and draining into the ground, so that's going to soften the ground, and that could cause the building to subside somewhat. But if it's not doing that, I reckon it's rotting those floorboards. I mean, you can't even see any air bricks. Well, maybe it's not a wooden floor at that point, but it is in some of it. Here's another one. This one seems to have drained away, but I'm reckoning it may have even drained away around the side of the gully. And you look up, same story. And then you look over here and you can see an overflow pipe, which has caused a bit of staining over there. They've probably fixed that now, so that stopped dripping. But you can see just what a lot of damage it does in a very, very short time, can't you, to that brickwork. That's not just ugly staining, that'll be starting to attack the brickwork and saturate. These are only a softish brick, red rubber. You can see where they've done a very nice job of replacing those ones up there, haven't they, on that soldier course head. Beautifully done. But generally those bricks will not take a lot of soaking. So here you can see the groundwater, and that is just gathering around here, and the reason it's gathering around here is that you pull that away and that is completely blocked up. So they've probably got maintenance teams around here that look after this kind of thing, like the school caretaker or whatever. I don't know, maybe that's not his job to do those, maybe it needs somebody else. I think one of the problems is, you know, that when I was really active doing a lot of plumbing and so on, I had a few jobs with schools and various places, and I'd go around there quite regularly and just clear out the gutters, clear out the rainwater heads. I mean, look at all this vegetation that's grown up here. We've got sycamore trees. Once they take root, they're expensive to get rid of. Leaks here, you can see staining. There's another little overflow that's been going for years. That's not recent, is it? Look at that overflow, look at that rainwater head there. I brought you here to show you this because it is a rather extreme example of the sort of thing that happens, but it could still be happening to a lesser degree, hopefully, on your property. So you can see the need to just walk around your building in the rain, grab an umbrella, grab anything else, and just have a look and see what's going on and look for those telltale signs. So on this corner they had a leaking gutter and it stained all that wall all the way down there. And you can also see the degradation to the brickwork, the frost damage that's taken place, and that brickwork has been saturated. Looks like they've got a damp proof course here, by the way, doesn't it? A good slate damp proof course. So I'm guessing that this bit here is not the original 500-year-old building, but something they've added on. But whatever it is, it's still a solid wall and it's still going to be subjected to damp. So it needs taken care of. A bit of TLC is called for. A few quid as well. I mean, that's the problem everywhere these days, isn't it? It's nobody's got any money. Nobody's got any money. But if you think about this, they're not going to abandon this building. As I say, it's an old priory. It's got connections with Henry VIII. I believe Anne Boleyn stayed here. They're not going to just let it go, but when they do come to repair it, it's going to cost a lot. And look at that one up there. Water cascading off the end of that gutter, I would imagine. A lot of it coming down the chimney breast as well, but that could definitely use something, couldn't it? Just to stop all that staining. Look at the way that it's eaten the way they're pointing there. Wouldn't take 2 minutes to fix that, would it? Because it's just dripping down here, obviously creating a lot more water than this was designed to do. Because this little slot drain here is blocked, the water is now running in under those doors, which is not what they intended when they designed it. That little sump at the end there could do with cleaning out, and then they just shove a jet wash or a rod along there to clear that out. As I say, simple little things that you can do that cost no money but save you a fortune. Here's a 10-minute fix. That rainwater pipe has fallen away from that outlet there, and subsequently the little bit of rainwater off the roof is leaking down. Not a huge amount, but it's something that's so easy to put right. That gutter joint is leaking there. It's a really long run, and there's only 2 outlets on that whole run of roof, which is fairly typical of what they did. I know this estate very well because these were all built on a rubbish tip, these houses. Basically sand quarry, and then they filled it in with rubbish. Then they built these houses on rafts. And one of the main problems I had was sinking drains around here, but that's another story. What happened, you can see this one here, look, it's completely deteriorated. Leaking gutters, rotting fascias. So what happened here, these were aerial plastics, these gutters, and no other fitting would fit them properly. So when people had a leaking gutter, and they needed a new fitting for it, a new joint or whatever, they weren't readily available after a while. And I sourced a load of them. This was back before the internet, and I managed to source a load of them, and so I kept a stock. So if I did one gutter repair, often the neighbours would tell somebody else and they would contact me to do theirs. And very occasionally, I get somebody who just phone me up and say, no, I don't need to do the job. I just want to buy the gutter fitting from you. I go, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can buy the gutter fitting. How many do you want? They say, oh, well, I have one. And I say, all right, that would be 25 quid. And you say, oh, that's a lot of money for a gutter fitting. Yeah.